Hello, Kevin here. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the accessories we bought to customize our TW200s to meet our needs. As you can see, it's pretty cold. I'm up here in Minnesota and it's about 35 degrees today. But I wanted to take these out and actually show a couple of the things that we added to these bikes. Now, most people would be getting their bikes ready for storage, but I wanted to keep these out because this winter we're gonna be riding them on Lake Minnetonka and probably taking them ice fishing. So most people are winterizing their bikes, putting them away, whereas I'm actually getting them ready to go. Fun fact, the TW200 is one of the only bikes that actually was able to ride successfully to the North Pole. So I actually think that these will be a lot of fun this winter. Please subscribe if you're interested. We'll definitely be getting that going. But without further ado, let me go ahead and show you some of the things that we did with these TW200s. So one thing we knew we needed right off the bat is we wanted to get some windshields. And I looked all over the place, trying to find something that wasn't going to be huge, something that was kind of custom fit for the TW200. And after looking at many forums and spending some time looking at what other people have done to customize their TWs, I found these wonderful little windshields. And what I love about them is they actually connect directly to the front of the TW on one of the rubber grommets and fits nicely behind the stock shield. It's enough protection to keep you out of the way of bugs, but not too much where it's going to get in the middle of visibility. This little shield is fantastic, and the place that I got it actually has a couple different options. They have a smoke color, they have a blue one, and they also have a clear one, and it's called the Jimbo Shield. You can reach out to Trailway Cafe at cox.net to actually get all of the information sent to you directly from Jim. He actually makes these custom, and they fit perfectly with the Yamaha TW. I love this shield and I would buy it again and again. The next thing I'd like to talk about is this wonderful set of handguards. And I got these just in time because when I installed them, my son ended up laying the bike down, skidded out on some gravel. It wasn't too bad, but the handguards took a little bit of scratch. It was nice to have them because I didn't have anything that got dented. I really love these because they look fantastic with the headlight guard I also have, which I'll be talking about a little bit later in this video. Essentially, these handguards are fantastic. They're super easy to install. I was able to mount them directly to the handlebars. They were only about $82 online. I got them from Amazon, and they came to me very quickly, and I was able to install them right away. They do a great job of keeping your hands clear of anything on the road, avoiding rocks, branches, road debris. As you can see, there's plenty of room for the clutch and plenty of room for the front brake, and they mount just simply to the bike. As for the headlight guard, I loved how this made the front of the bike look. It's nice to have the protection on that front headlight, and you know what, these actually, it really wasn't that expensive. About $84, I ended up picking it up on eBay from a place called Moose Racing. Fantastic little headlight guard. I also updated the headlights on both motorcycles from the halogen to LED. Not only is this so much brighter, but it's also that nice cool color you get from LED. They were under $20 a piece, and they were super easy to install, just bolting in to the existing frame. When I was working with the headlights, I also knew that I wanted to get some additional lighting on one of the motorcycles, so I picked up these LED pods that also were super easy to install. Essentially, I just disconnected the reflector from the front forks and they bolted right in. Now, these were only about $15 on Amazon, and they were super easy to wire into the existing harness. I connected it to the high beam, so when I'm running this bike normally, it's actually not pulling light. The next thing I wanted to talk about was those little cheesy foot pegs that come with the TW200. I knew I wanted to go ahead and see if I could get something a little bit more beefy, so I went out and searched what other people had done in forums, and I found this set on Amazon from HTTMT. These foot pegs are so much more sturdy, so much more well built, and bonus, they connected directly into the stock place. I didn't have to drill any holes, I didn't have to do anything. I was able to connect the spring back directly to it, and as you can see, it actually fits nicely with a nice snug connection. One of the upgrades I knew I wanted to make is I wanted to get a seat cover for one of the motorcycles. So I spent a lot of time out there in forums looking at options, and I found this nice one from Coleman. Now, the existing strap that it came with actually was a little too rigid and a little too tight to go under the seat the way I wanted it to. So I removed that existing strap and used paracable to connect it to the seat itself. Then I was able to press the seat down on the bike and actually make it so it fit nice and tight and snug. The Coleman Mad Dog seat cover was only about $13. It was really inexpensive, and you know what? It made such a huge difference. Coming from my old motorcycle of an Africa Twin, I could ride that bike for hours and had all the comfort in the world. Whereas the TW is a little bit more of a bumpy ride, and adding this additional cushion made all the difference. My sons actually wished that I would have gotten two, one for each bike, but I just stuck with the one because the bike that I put it on is meant to be more of the utility bike, whereas the other bike is made for off-road, and I'm figuring we're going to be standing on the pegs more often. So I also added this little bag to the back. It came with an old backpack I had, and it just fit perfectly back here so I could carry some gear around. I also wanted to do something about the mirrors. The stock mirrors are fine, there's no problem with them, I don't mind the look, but I also knew that they just weren't very wide, and somebody like me who's a larger rider, I had a hard time seeing past my shoulders. So I wanted to get something that had a little bit more width and I could actually have more clearance to see what was behind me. And that's when I found these mirrors online. I love the shape. They actually were super easy to install. They're super durable. The cost wasn't that high. And if I ended up breaking them, I knew I'd be able to replace them pretty easily. I also added a couple little things like this ram mount and some straps that I could put a Bluetooth speaker on the bike if I chose, and then I added one on the other side too. But the mirrors are from Mick Tuning. They're called the Universal Hawkeye Motorcycle Mirror, and they were only 17 bucks, so not bad at all. If I was to break one, I'd be able to replace it pretty easily. But like I said, these mirrors gave me so much more clearance that I could easily see around my broad shoulders. So great upgrade, something I knew I wanted to do. The last thing I want to talk about today is this fantastic tail rack. I looked at many different options, and there's a lot of giant bulky ones. There's some flimsy ones out there. I knew that the tail only holds about 7 pounds, so I wanted something that I could mount directly to the frame. And I found this fantastic one that not only mounts under the seat, but also mounts by the blinkers and back. And it's going to be on that bike for years to come. It's made by Precision Motorcycle Racks, and it's just fantastic. I loved the way that it installed. It was super simple, super easy to understand. And now that I have it there, I don't have any worries of putting a lot of things in that tail bag. All right, a little challenge for you guys. When we got these bikes, we wanted to give them names so we could know which ones we were taking and which key went to what bike, because they're both 2022s. So we actually named one Grizzly and the other one Donkey. And as you can see, I actually got some decals on Amazon and permanently named this one Grizzly, which is more of the off-road bike, ready for the trail with the hand guards and the windshield or the headlight guard. And then I got another decal over here named Donkey. So the challenge I have for you is, why do you think I chose the name Grizzly and Donkey for these two TWs? Knowing these are workhorses and knowing that I'm a child of the 80s, there's a reason why I selected those names. So, what TV show may these names be coming from? I'll be interested to see what you guys say in the comments. All in all, I love the TW200. One of my bikes is set up for utility with ways to carry things around and comfort. The other one is more geared for the trail with some nice protection for the headlight and hands. I just think that these bikes are fantastic, and I love the accessories I was able to get